we broke down who a journalist is, right?
Yes.
We talked about the role of the journalist.
Yes.
So in as much as interviews are important, I would like people to break that silence and norm and know that not the information is not only gotten through interview. You can do research, you can talk about something without having to interview any single person. And that is where reviews, the part of your task as a journalist is to inform, to review, and analyze situation. Reviewing and analyzing is key and very important part of journalism. Be critically minded, not balance, and not bias. Bias is part of journalism. Now, if you have all these ethics that you are living by, at the end of the day, you should be able to take it down to the people to understand. If the 3 years judgment court is happening and they are there talking about Section 3 or Section 5 of the Constitution of the Gambia, the magistrate uses Section 3 of Section 5 of the Constitution. The next person lawyer came and argues a section on Section 25 of the Constitution, this and that. You are bringing in pressure and should be able to break down what these people are saying. So they absorb 25 the Constitution. It is your responsibility to get potential way of reporting on that. You just come and you are told, Yusuf Andur, there's a Kora award going on in Birkama, you need to go cover it. Or you are told Nabi Asar, you go to Bese in Foni, it's a 3-day gamo, and you will be there to cover it. What are some elements to cover if you are going as a journalist? What should be the first thing you do?
Research.
Who said it?
Two people.
Yes, I had 2 voices, so I asked who said it.
One voice is Salimatu.
Saja and Salimatu.
Okay, good. Yes, research. It's very important. Now, let's take them one at a time. If you are about what type of research should you do? What are you looking for?
The research about the event they are going to.
Your name and
Hmm?
Okay, is Fandu talking? I mean, to research the events you want to go to.
To do what?
The events you wanted to go to have a research about that event. Maybe
Okay.
Maybe there will be a previous events that happened last year to sort of to have a better understanding about how to report to that type of events.
I have made it specific. I said you come to the office and you are told that there is a Kora award going on in Birkama and you need to cover it. I've asked, what's the first? You said to do research. Okay. What and what should you research now?
Mr. Joof,
Uh-huh.
you have to do research about Kora, how Kora came about.
Who is this?
Saja.
Sajo is on fire today. You got it. Yes. Background information. Very important. Very, very important. Exactly what I'm looking for is what you gave me. You need to know background information. At the end of the day, it's all centered around your 5 W's and H. Background information, very important. Yes. What else should you find out?
Salimatu Jara. Mr.
Mhm.
Joof, location.
Mhm.
I just remember. Hello?
I'm listening. I'm listening. Remato.
The location.
Did you say location?
Yes.
Okay.
You see the churai or the instant stick, you put it there, let the environment look so nice, because it will encourage your guests. If they come, the setting alone can impress them. They say, wow, I love the studio here. But let's say you invite your guests, you don't even prepare, you start going in and out, they'll say, you might organize. So it's always important, like before your guests come, let the studio be intact, let your reception, everything be okay, so that when they come, they can just be impressed with everything. So when you come to you as a host, or you as the owner of the show, you as your big boss, because you are the boss inside the studio. Even if you invite President Adam Barrow, trust me, you are the boss inside the studio. He should not dictate your show. He should not tell you that, okay, this is what I want to discuss with you. You should tell him that, okay, look, I have bring you here to ask you. So your job is just to say either yes or no. But you are the ultimate boss. You ask that question. So it's very important. Don't just say, okay, today I've brought an ambassador or ministers, so let me just look, small in front of him. No. Prove to him that you are the boss. Prove to him that you are the captain of the boat. You are the one, in charge. Never give them that little expression to know that, you just want to belittle yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. Despite his position, consider your position. You are not a small person. As a journalist, many people look up to you, for inspiration, for mentorship, and for other stuffs. People look so much into you. Maybe you might not know. You might think that you are small. You might think that you are no one. But trust me, people look so much up to you. So it's very, very important. Like, especially when in a bigger platform, so that's why, like, branding in journalism, it is very important. So when you come to dressing, you yourself, dress code, and I think this is where, like, we Gambians, we get it all of it wrong. People think that, when you're a journalist, they expect you to dress corporate or official dress, like how I'm dressing right now. This is the only dress, like, people expect journalism or the journalist to be dressing, or media personnel. You should dress official, you should dress professional. They only take professional dress to be this. But it's very important as a journalist or a media personnel, you need to know your dress code. You need to know what to wear, when to wear, and how to wear it. It's very, very important. So this is where, like, your skills in fashion will come. Let's say today I am hosting an imam. Let's say Imam Babali, Imam Toure from the council, Imam Kebucham. This dress it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but it will be more ethical. It will be more professional, if you can dress according to their taste. You understand? If you're a lady, mashallah, the way you're dressing is very, even if you are not an ibadu, but just because you are going to meet high-profile religious someone, like that courtesy, it's very, very important. Even if you're not an ibadu, even if all you know is tip and changal, but that for that day or for that moment, just try to put on abaya or something that is very loose or that is very free. You understand? So it will even increase the respect of that particular person towards you. You understand? He will respect you more. But you cannot be going to an interview an imam, you just want to put on this tight material. It's not even done. Compared to, let's say, you come in to interview Jizzle. Who is Jizzle? Jizzle is an artist, is an entertainment someone. It's okay. Even if you want, you can put on your changal, put on your crop top, your jumba out, your racks, whatsoever. It's okay, because he's an artist. In fact, that's what they wear. It's okay for that. Let's say today you want to interview a president or minister. It is very important for you to dress like how I'm dressing today, corporate. If you want, you can put on your vest coat. If you want, you can put on your shirt or your tuxedo or your blazer. If it's okay, you can just ordinary chemise. It's okay, because you look corporate. You can go to State House. You can go to any formal diplomatic engagements. But like in journalism, dress code is very important. The reason why I said like when you come to dress code Gambia, we got it all wrong because they expect you to have only one particular way of dressing. Okay, they expect me to dress like this even if I'm interviewing Jizzle, even if I'm going with Kebu Cham, or even if I'm coming with an ambassadors or ministers or politicians. For me, I say no to that. It doesn't go that way. For me personally, Yusuf, I dress according to my guest. I dress according to the events that I'm going to attend. If I know that I'm going to, let's say, formal meetings, I'm going to dress very corporate. But if I know that, like, let's say they invite me to a kids program, like children's program, the musical program, you can't expect me to dress on with my shorts and my tie. I'm not saying it doesn't make any sense, but it will look more funnier, for you to dress according to the kids. Let's say, put on your jean, put on your big sneakers, go. Like when the kids see you, they're gonna feel, much more open and more, easy to interact with you. So it's very, very important. I remember I did a show with, was it Lizzie? Or who was it? I was putting on a shot on Facebook when people were watching. I think 2 or 3 people were commenting. This journalist is very, very unprofessional. How can you dress like this in front of your guest? So maybe like he or she might not know what he's talking about, but you as a journalist, you know what you're talking. And it will not also be proper for you to reply them. I see their comments every day, but don't reply, never reply them. You can go through, it's okay, but like don't reply, okay, like anyone that commented nice thing, thank you, or someone that commented bad thing, you start retaliating or insulting. It doesn't go like that. As a journalist, you have to see yourself as a public figure. People are going to have a say always in your life. What you do, what you wear, people are going to talk about it. But like, do not respond to it. In as much as you know what you're doing, that's it. I saw them commenting like my shirt, I'm not professional, blah, blah, blah. Even sometimes with my haircuts. Some people will tell me that like, as a journalist, it's not professional for you to do this kind of high techs. But like, Sisu, who told them that? Who told them that? So for me personally, like, I don't see anything wrong with that, to have a high tech and go and interview with anyone. It's okay. Like I say, in as much as like you dress for them, it's okay. Just don't abuse your dress. For me, like I have so much respect for dress. Maybe you guys, I think you all know that. Even if you go to Facebook or you watch much of my interviews, you'll see like I dress according to exactly the person that I'm interviewing. And that's how it should be, period. Don't let people dictate you. Maybe I could have said, okay, now since people are blasting me so much, let me just go this way. No, I'm not doing it, for people. Excuse me, huh?
Yeah, if you come, I have a
Hello, Mahmoud. I'm feeling. Huh? Huh? Ha, na, I'm feeling studio, na. Sorry for that. He was supposed to come and collect something, so you understand. So that is it. Dress according to your guest, like I said. Dress according to the environment where you're going. Let's say you're going to cover demonstration, especially as a lady. Put on something that is, very comfortable, something you can run with because it's never safe. You might not know. You might go to demonstration like where it turned to riots. Demonstration riots is different. Riots, is like when it turned to violent. People started throwing. You see, fashion is fashion. No, just have your simple works, your simple material. Sew it very nice. You sit in front of the TV. You do your things. So take care of your odors. Is very important. Like the sprays, the roll-on. It's very, very important. At least for you to say something, let's say, not nice about your guest is better. It's better for your guest to say that about you because that is really tarnishing your image. Even if you invite them next time, they wouldn't have that zeal. They wouldn't even have that courage to come. They would say, you understand? So that is it when you come to dressing. So your question too, you should be able to polish your questions very well. You should be able to confront them with relevant question, not just like babysitting them, like how every one of them out there would be like to receive. That's normal. Even me, if you invite me to a platform, I just want you to throw question to me, the question that are so simple that are praiseworthy. Hey, it's for Yafito, yeah, definitely. It's good. But understand that people that you're having, they are not individual that anyone can approach them on the street. Like you cannot approach Jizul on the street. Hey Jizul, can you do that to Jizul on the street? If he slap you, if you do anything, know that it's your mistake. But you as a journalist, if Jizul come and like that is trending on social media, that's what everyone is saying, you should be able to confront Jizul with that. Jizul, we had that you had a baby with one guy. What would you say to that? He will either say yes or no. That's why I said follow-up question, then comes with that. If you say, no, I didn't do that, but I say, but it's all over social media, people are saying it, even one of your blah blah said this, what would you say? Press them harder. But don't just bring them, just try, hey, you're that music, I like it, you're that dress code, just leave them go like that. No. But it's important for you to confront with relevant question. You understand? It's important for you to discuss something with them, that is very, very relevant, that, viewers would love to hear. Don't just do like how everybody will do it. Sometimes when you look at our artists, if they go to platform A, the same question they're going to be asking them. They go to platform B, the same repeated question. So at some point, I guess they themselves would even be like boring, seriously. Because I remember when I called Ramzia for interview, because Pamodu interviewed Ramzia before me. But when I called her, do you know what she first told me? And before she said that, Fatsamba told me that. Fatsamba told me, Yusufa, you know that Pamodu already interviewed this guy. I said, yes. He said, why not like you try to take a different route? Instead of, the question that Pamodu asked him, why don't you look for a different, fresh topic, like, you discuss with them? Mr. Joof told me, and that you can do it in two ways. Either question that Pamodu discussed with him, he didn't go deep, you go deeper. Dig it very well. Let's say he asked them, okay, we heard that you died yesterday. He said, oh yeah, I died, but I came back. You go deep into that. How did you come back? Like dig it, or bring in new, fresh topics. It's very important. And exactly what Farsam and Mr. Joof told me, that's exactly how it turned to be. When I called Ramzia, the first thing she told me, Yusufa, yalong komi nga interview soto janala hivi hakilo baka nkai butu mala fi komi wenyi nka question menna alfana mbenyi nkala wale. Perhaps if you can discuss, something different. I said, wow. So I didn't mean that I did not consult Farsam, I did not consult Mr. Joof. I told her, okay, that I want to have Ramzia. And trust me, because initially all the questions I have, they are all related to that. So nobody's gonna watch. If people even say, people, that's not an interest. But look, they were able to guide me. Well, they were able to monitor me, to tell me that, okay, take this and this, we put all the questions together. And to look at it these days, the interview is trending. Like she said, previously the 5 minutes that they caught where she was talking about Sadauda Kairaba Jawara, it has it in more than 50,000 views. And the video that yesterday my lady edited, this morning I was watching when I come around, and it was like 21K view. But if at all like the question that she discussed, I want to discuss with her. I'm not saying that people are not going to view it, but it would not be more than that. So that is it. Questioning is very, very important. So after questioning, what do we have? Okay, dress code. I think we talk about that too. Questioning. Then what else do I need to discuss? Like you made your research. You put your questions all together. You dress up very fine. You discuss important questions. And yeah, one thing is very important. Sometimes you're going to invite a guest. Your guest will disappoint you. Now, I will ask you all this question. If it's you, what will you do? Let's say you set all your studio, you put the churai, you dress very fine, your outfits, mashallah. Now you already inform people that I'm coming to have Yusuf Ajat. Yusuf failed you. What will you do? One after honor. Yes, you.
Yeah, I can take the example from myself. During the beginning of COVID-19. We supposed to have a guest, and the guest name is Kemo Fati from University of the Gambia. We supposed to discuss with him about the election. They're supposed to have election. So, but the election, due to COVID-19, the election was formed. They say now they are coming to do the election, online election. So we invite him to come and attend, to have interview with him. So actually, he agreed already. Then the day it was on Thursday, we settled the studio, everything was settled, and people are expecting on air, me and Fatu Samba. Then later on, around 3, we call him and remind him about the interview. He told us, like, actually, I cannot attend the interview because I have an urgent meeting at Busumbala. So, still now, I did not give up. I asked him that, can you send someone to come and attend the interview the same day? After he told me that, no, actually, I don't think so. I will have someone who will come and volunteer me on the interview. Then, 10 to 15 minutes, he called back. He told me that then now, I have finalized that my Secretary General, Tony F. Mendy, he is coming to attend the interview, and we have done the interview. It was successful, and we we just do the two parts, both election of the president at U.S. Student Union at the University of the Gambia, and the Secretary General himself, why he stand for the as a Secretary General, and he also told us that like he is a data cleaner at this place, how to say it, National Assembly. You see, we expecting the president, but the president did not come. The secretary came, and we have discussed a lot of things, and the program was so successful.
Wow.
And we pass it to GRTS magazine every Tuesday.
Wow. Then you wanted to say something?
Well, if it was me, I call my guest and he finally failed me, then what I will do is to sit in front of the camera and tell my people that I called my guest but he didn't come, then explain what I wanted to analyze what I wanted to discuss with him during the interview. Thank you.
Who else? I want to hear different ideas. I love being different. I love being controversial.
For me, as for me, if at all my guest disappointed me, I will still go on with my show, do a commentary, show people that I should have a guest, but the guest is not here. But still, I will not give up. I have to do my show, and I have to tell people what my topic is about and what I will do. But I will not sit and say, today my guest is not here, so I will not do something different. I will do something different.
I like that. So that's like double disappointment. Your guest disappointed you, and you also disappointed your audience. So, like she said, it's very true. Guests will always disappoint. Trust me, they will always disappoint. It happened, it is happening, and it will continue happening. But when your guests disappoint, right now in the Gambia, we have a lot of trending issues that are worthy of talking about. You can talk a lot of things. Salimatu Bangura is here, she's having this problem. Bring it, discuss it with them. Right now, if you look at the political situation, Barrow is on a tour. Just maybe look at one of his tours that, maybe something that created highlight, like what he said. Let's say he recently encouraged farmers not to sell their groundnut to private or individual buyers. Let them sell it to the government, because private buyers will not buy any machinery or any farming tool for the farmers. Instead, the government will help them. That alone is a topic of its own discussion. You consider, okay, mbadungulal bele amoy ko adam baroko abe senelal danila ikana wafiro okay nyimo mo kilinkilina mo kun kilina mel kanana bari wafiro ko mansekunda ma bawo mansekundal bi mako eno la fongot fabe wala nyam mansekundal ka famal mako ba bar sinya jolo ngaji famal fane letro se fe kata mansekunda kan mansekunda me dema anunga kibaro soto ko nyimo kun kindal mel kana warka ton kilin sang 26000 bar mansekunda ka sang $23,000. So, you understand? That's how you create conversation. You're going to see that you analyze it very well, break it down, analyze it, and present a point to them. Let's say, for instance, if Barrow said, government is the one that can help the farmers with, with machinery. But how many of the farming organizations in the Gambia we see that have been pleading to government? The government did not even give attention to them. Or is it that the president is saying that because, election is coming, he needs their votes so that they can vote for him? You create conversation in the minds of the public, You're going to see people start, oh, yeah, what did journalist is saying, it makes sense. People are going to be texting, even if you open lines, people are going to be calling, contributing. That's how you do it. So, didn't you have a show already? You have it. So, that's it. The guests will always disappoint, but don't have two disappointment. If your guests disappoint you, you make yourself proud. Look for something, discuss it with your audience. Even it's going to be maybe time is going to be shorter than your normal time. Let's say your usual time is 1 hour, but just because it's you alone, you can have it for 15 minutes, for 30 minutes. People are going to watch it, especially if it's interesting. Trust me, there is no program that is boring, or there is no individual that is boring. Do you know what makes your program boring? It's you yourself. It depends on you. You yourself, you have to give yourself that buzz. Give yourself that, that chafka, that jonge, that jimbo. Yeah, it's all about that, give yourself that, if you just say that, nobody's gonna listen to or watch you. But, say something that makes sense, We say, being journalist is all about 3 things, inform people, entertain them, and educate them. That is it. So entertain them, educate them, and entertain them. That's it, Talk something that makes sense. trust me, they will always be pleased to watch you. And anytime you make your debut appearances, people are gonna wow, Yusuf Alakanan, because not. But always when you come like it's like Big Five will say the same thing, the same thing. Nobody's gonna have the zeal to watch you. So in journalism, creativity counts a lot. You have to be creative. It's very, very important. When you say,
Going back to how to research, there are such celebrities you can never find their personal Facebook account. Now, what measures can you take to go through their personal account?
you're right. Sometimes, our artists, I think now it's better, but Biden, they had a problem with keeping social media account. And I think that's what makes us different from the international or the global celebrities, If you go to global community, if I say global community, I mean like beyond the Gambia, like Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria, everywhere. You're going to see each of these celebrities or like public figure, they're going to be having their background on social media. One thing about our artists, if you go to on Facebook, one thing you can see, they are good in creating, like maybe personal account, they might have that, but official account, sometimes they don't have a biography, and sometimes they cannot distinguish between a biography and account. Biography and account is different. You can have multiple, Facebook accounts, one or two, just because, sometimes they will say, nothing list of now 5,000, so let me open new one. But you might not even have background. Background is like, especially when you go to Google, you type someone's name, let's say Yusuf Ajat. You see their full background, like, who is Yusufa, where was I born, the age I was born, the schools I attended, from UTG, the positions that I held. That's what we call, background. Most of them, they like that. They don't have background. All they have is personal account. So in that case, since you cannot have, proper account of them, which, can tell you this is their background, one thing you can do, follow their personal Facebook pages or their official. Or like Fatsamba said, sometimes like on internet, when you type, let's say, the way they spell their name very correctly, because spelling too counts a lot. If I say my name is Yusufa, people have different way of spelling Yusufa. Like for me, at the end, and I use PHA, but some will use FA. So that is it. When you come to, let's say, certain surnames like Jello and Jata, like for me, our counterparts in France and Senegal, they spell Jata as D-I-A. Diata. But for them, they call it Jata. So for us, we say J-A-T-T-A. So it's if you are researching about me, you said, okay, Yusufa Jata, you went and, if my name is D-I, you went and put J-A-T-T. You will never find me. You will never find me. Unless maybe like my name related, maybe like someone commented, you can see me. But like finding correct spelling is always important. You can click, let's say, Yusuf Ajata, you're gonna see. Like either post I do it, or post that people do about me, or post that people do to tag, but anything that has my name, you're gonna see everything. Then you can start digging into some of that post, you're gonna have idea. Or maybe they had an interview previously with maybe media A or B, go and watch that interview. Listen to the question, especially from the artist himself. You can even confront them on some of the, or engage them on some of those questions. Let's say maybe he might tell us that 5 years ago that, I lost my both parents at the same day. You can bring that, oh, we learned that, you lost your parents at the same day. I understand that must be, very tough and challenging for you. How did you feel at that point? You understand? Or like I said, you also belong to community. You belong to neighborhood. You belong to Koñ, like we locally call it. You must be hearing people talking about the artist, especially if you're one of your close friends. Ha, sama ka intaka Jizul interview. Hey, Jizul wala ko diata nyele. Isina dome ha intaka lo komanda yemana keta wara sistala. Amanden kilo na ka molla copy. Is that not information? Is that not research? You already got your research well even before going to internet. Bring down pen and paper, write it. You can even, as a concerned journalist, confront them more. Iko Jizul resistal. Monde keta yofo. Foti man ko Jizul resistal. Ina nita role fan la sokono. Ibuka kan kotam fo jena man kila kan damant. Andunga mala programme ko sun ko dol taraje because I abaiji. All jot all of them down. It will help you. Jizul mol ko ko kotan internet itamade butu malam folon to nyat. You listen to him as I deny, as I accept. Na deny na ko hanu man kito isafa but still ngame ko hanala sokono fan ko na kamul baiji. If it's something true, you're gonna see like how uncomfortable they will be. They can get angry, but as a guest, as a host, you should know how to control your guest. Like there was a time, Mr. Joof, I don't know Tom Malong for your interview, Jelaba. Mr. Joof, a journalist Muslim in Senegal. Mr. Joof has sent some because I need a question like I Malong. Ha, I need a okay, no, in Tamankota, but in Tangola, we call it for, something like that. So I'm a artist on ye. akay ko angola mo bar so a confronta kay ko ha so burung jeli so ñi ati so ñi kay ko sona si arrêté me imposer question bi man dama rew quoi guess what ata fanan kay ko ñu fi ñun yepa rew yeah exactly waaye mu ne ko fii ñëpp a rew so fii ñëpp a rew rek boom mu jox ko one smackdown the journalist said fii ñëpp a rew yeah one big blow unless people have to rush and separate them. So it's very important, know how to control your guests. I remember this guy, like today, Kadi and others went, Imam Jabi Dua Jabi Moro. He's a renowned, marabut in this country. I went and interviewed him. I asked him many, tough and questions that are so uncomfortable. Do you know what he told me at the middle of the interview? He just looked at me. He was very angry. Yeah, seriously. But it's interview. It's interview. You just come baby calling or so that is it. So it's very very important. Like as an interviewer, like know how to control your guest. It is very very important. Like timing to it counts. Timing. If it's 1 hour, like for example, said this interview I spent 3 hours, and trust me, I don't know what happened to me that day, but me personally, I keep on having that problem with Mr. Joof. Yusufa, anytime I do with Yusufa, ela programa manjam for muneketa Yusufa, is it that imam question will be nyininka bang wala muneketa? It's just that like for me, I don't like having long interview. Like man, sumasanyun, bare 30 minutes, my interviews. Yeah, but that day, I had to triple that, 3 hours. So timing is very, very important. You comport yourself when you're sitting. Let's say when you're a lady, if, how to call, especially when you're a girl, maybe for a guys, like we can sit anyhow. But when it's a lady, I think I have to demonstrate this so all of you can see because it's very, very. Who will help me to hold the mic? If you're a lady, it depends on what you're wearing. You understand? Maybe you can put on a long malan. So when you're sitting, comport yourself. Because it's long malan, you can sit like this. You can sit like this. Nothing is coming out because it's long malan. Okay, let's say how about you put on a short skirt. Yeah, as we call it, changal. Let's say you put on a skirt that is very, very short. You cannot just sit like this. Assalamu alaikum bokkai. You don't do that. When you're having a short skirt, like you have like few options that you can sit. Either like when you come and sit down, close your legs together, like this. You see? Or you can sit like this one. You see how I do it? Yeah, that's how you sit. If at all like like what you wear is very, very short, sit like this. Sit like this. This is what you call Duchess slang. Yeah, you understand? Always when you sit like this. But if at all maybe like let's say the skirt you wear it's like kinda long, or because sometimes I understand the ladies hajano kadiele. Yefendo meyanko like split, you want people to see. There are some nice ways that you can sit. One is this, you can sit like this, or you can put your legs together, or still you can do this. You can do this. It's very, very important. And when you sit like this, you can sit like this for more than 2 hours, like this. Trust me, I know what I'm saying. You can sit for more than 2 hours without you even like needing to change. Unlike us, when you do this, maybe sometimes you might want to do this. But when you do this, it's finished. It's finished. It's always comfortable. Your body will not even expose. You can just sit like this comfortably, you interview your guest. Or like I said, just sit down like this. You see, this, you just take it to side like this. You sit. If you know the what you wear is very short. So if it's guys, like we are very free. We can sit like this. We can sit like this. We can sit like this. But for me, like the style that I love to do when I'm interviewing, like this is how I sit most of the times. This is how I cross my legs. This is how I want to sit. Maybe unless I want to go, I just do like this for sometimes. But sometimes I realize when you sit like this, you might want to change at some point. So that's why like normally I just sit like this. So it's very important. That's what you call like self-comportment. To comport yourself, it is very, very important. Very, especially for a female.
I was watching the live program. I was like, fine, I mean, it feels like this. But it was live, that is why they don't edit it. The show was live. So, I mean, my house, everybody laughs. She even forgot why she acted like that?
Yeah, you know, is
Forget what she wore.
yeah, because I know. Do you know what causes that? That's why I said sometimes like to sit like this, it can be very embarrassing. Like to sit like this, because sometimes you might even forget like what you wear. So let's say you want to change, you see the interval.
Yeah.
When you do like so, there's a space, and like people will always see. So yeah, because you want to turn like this, you do this. So but like I said, if you sit like this, you can sit like for more than 1 hour. You will never change this. Even if you're tired, huh? Just turn and do like this, right? Turn and do like this. Simple. You are good to go. You are good to go. So, but like I said, it all depends again, like on kind of interviews you're doing. Your dress code matters a lot when it comes to that. So I think so far so good. This is what I have to share with you guys when it comes to hosting a show. Okay, I love questions. Follow-up questions. Okay, follow-up question is like when I ask Yusufa, oh, thank you, my lady. It's like when I ask Yusufa, 3 months ago, you wrote on your Facebook wall that you had twin with one of your ex-girlfriend, but like you later end up, taking, in charge of all the 2 babies because your wife is, or the mother is not responsible. So how does that go? We'll start saying, yes, I said this and this and this. So when you come to follow-up questions, it depends on what he's saying. Yeah. Let's say he might tell you that, we started going to court, and then he said, okay, you start going to court. How was the court like? So you are trying to follow up the question. That's what he call. Yeah, so when I entered the car, I was going to Serakunda, then I landed at Banjul. Oh, Banjul, how was the Banjul at that moment? When was it? Where was it? How was it? You remember your 5 W's in journalism? It is very important. Even when you're asking your guest question, ask them, bari ngamale incident to kanyin keta. Akita muntole, muntu malong, minto mafano, akita nyadile. Where was it? When was it? How was it? What did it, you understand? So it's always very important. Another question? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends. It depends. For me, it happened to me a lot, especially artists. You will ask them, because I remember when I confronted ST about his relationship with his wife, he told me that, but do you think that can really be because you are a public figure? So obviously people have so much interest to know you, of course, your personal life. But I have to go further. I told him that I even heard that, your family, especially your mom, is not happy with Binta. Ibama. I Binta the money here. At that point, even if you don't want to talk, he will talk. He will say, no, that's not true. My mom is good. She's calm. She loves Binta. In fact, just yesterday that she gave Binta 2 meters of wax or 2 meters of ganila, just to show the public that, how the mom appreciate. But if they say, I don't want to talk, it's my people, maybe, fine, it's good to leave them, but, challenge them further. Let's say Sophia Bas came. Sophia, we learned that you slept with ST. Oh, that's private. I don't want to talk about that. It's on social media. Everyone is talking about. We have an evidence. Even if they want to, even if they don't want to talk, they will always talk. I remember this in the who was it, Ilan? Someone's this reality TV stars. I was watching their show. So there are 2 females. So the host is a female and the guest also is a female. Shingul Nyas is our single Nyas. Gambes is it, I don't know, Princess Nyas, that Ghana. No. That celebrity, that's having fine ways. You understand? The journalist confronted her because, they said she was dating one footballer, but according to her, she never knew that guy is married. So the journalist told her that, why did you date that guy? Don't you know that, no, he's I started dating blah, blah, blah. Don't you know that he's married? No. Don't you see his, how to call it? Don't you check on his finger whether died? Because, when they get married, they must have a ring. Don't you check his wedding ring? He said no. Then the journalist confronted her again. Don't you Google, don't you make a research? He said, I don't Google anybody's ass. That's what she replied, the journalist. I don't Google anyone's ass. She said, okay, now that happened to you. Then you had an experience with that, like that footballer happened to have a wife. Because according to Singleness, he learned that when they went to a party, she showed like this having a ring with the wife. Then that was how he know that like the guy is lying to him. So it turned that with order, you did not learn your lesson. You still dating another guy. The guy too is a footballer. Then she said, no, I'm not dating. He said, yes, we have an evidence against you. She said, yes, fine. But that was only once. So you see, but if they just want to maneuver you, that's why I said, like, if you're not smart, they're going to dominate you. At that point, that journalist could have said, okay, no problem. But the journalist said, we have evidence against you. I can show it. Sometimes you see, like, when they are interacting with you think they're even quarreling. But no, it's not quarreling, it's challenging them. Because sometimes these people, they will do anything just to protect themselves. But you as a journalist, your responsibility, not without anger, but, make them speak. Always trigger them to speak. Compel them to speak is very, very important. Yeah, it's very, very important. Any question?
I have a question. What are some of the challenges you face, especially when you are interviewing this, I can say, big artist?
I face a lot of challenges. Like I said, from arrangement, bringing them to the questions. Sometimes some of the artists immediately they walk out of the studio, they blocked you. Do you know that? Yeah, they blocked you. It happened to me. An artist blocked me. I think the guy just unblocked me recently because the manager called me for the interview. So he has no choice but to unblock me because maybe I confronted him with some of the question that he wasn't happy. So, but that's just normal. People are gonna do that to you. Not just the artists. People will do that to you. I remember when I interviewed this Misma. I think the fly is down there. That lady Misma. If Lamin is here, Lamin Sise, Lamin would have said yes. Tonya Laimemfo. She told me that wow, but you did not tell me that you're gonna be asking me all these kind of questions. Wow, they are difficult. Seriously, yeah. Seriously. And a lot of people will tell me that, including Tida Bobo of GMC, that GMC's lady, Tida Kijera. She's in GMC. When I interviewed her, she told me, hey, Janenkana nyanyum fanyela, amadu bai fose nyum fanyela, ko ite dinite. Dinunkuma bakateri dakono. You only ask big man question. So you see the mentality of the Gambian. When they see you small or because you are down there, they will say, I can just handle this boy. Whatever he is, I will just manipulate and dump you. But you see, when she come, I respect her. And I remember even Ahmad Baifos himself, he's the diasporan president for GMC party, the Gambia Mora Congress. When I interviewed him, he was like, hey, Mbarendong, even on Facebook, if you go to his wall, when I posted the picture, you have to share it, and when you share it, so they will write something. He said, I don't know, the question were tough, I like the way you confront me, but I love your job. They will not like it, but they will know that you are doing your job. Yeah. So they will end up respecting you for that. Kadisa Mata, when she went to India, before she go to represent the Gambia, a lot of media houses call her for an interview. But when she came and she told me that, trust me, so far all the interviews I have, yours is the best. Yours is the best. And a lot of times, I got that a lot. My guests will tell me that, trust me, this is one of my best shows. They'll give me that compliment. Even for somebody, same thing. When he interviewed Mahmoud Sabal had to call and compliment him. Yeah, I love your show. So that's how, people get to respect you. Not just when you guests come, you just maybe sit them, let them go. No. Confront them with real issues. Like I said, just to take negative because we have to celebrate them. Remember, they are our living legends and we have to celebrate. That's our responsibility. But in as much as we love celebrating them, we have to talk about real issues. Yeah, not just more babysit, definitely just let them go. No. Talk to them as something that people would probably want to hear. It's very important, not just as for them, but for you as a journalist. They're gonna respect you anywhere you meet with them. They will know that you are a responsible journalist. You are not a dogo journalist. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Come sometimes media show don't get a neighbor more interview can you guess. Come guess out of topic. What a question on me? I'm going to follow up. So Jenny never follow question or question on it will answer nothing ever answer that. So you can't make a journalist on your way forward. We will come back later on that question. So it can continue.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the way you arrange your question. You can arrange your question from A to Z. Let's say you on question A, and you see that due to the topic you're discussing, he went and already to let's say question M. Like for me, I always do it. Maybe if you take note, I will tell you no, mbena auto nyata, because even my last guest, Ramzia, I started with him we learned that he went to Nigeria for studies. So tell us, how did your that study go, especially in those days? She said, "Ha, Yusuf atunya lombari ngamera nsimuru na nkoma domandi nkoma nadindi ya makati nkai no mbena auto, because that's one is its own topic of discussion. You understand? But if you just let them flow, they will just like cut you before. So it's like he said, sometimes too, you might be running out of times. Yeah, I know. You might be running out of time. So the journalists might be talking, brrr. You understand? So maybe sometimes some of the questions that they are even saying is not even important. Cut them. Cut them. Let's say you ask them about his experiences in the US. He start talking about Serekunda market. Always when cutting them, like do it so nicely that they will not even feel it. Let's say abediam kabidanka, hey, birin tata Serekunda, moli nje yen camera, aliamo ila ko moli ya camera. You see, you come. Ha birin nata jandrong ikonye he bari muso sunguti may nyiyata. Sunguti may nyiyata but mbadi ngolal be fon janne jibe kam, you understand? Then you just take up your next question. So yeah, she already forget about that. That's how you cut your guests, but do it very nicely in a professional way. Sometimes it come maningol come for keba, ika keba doyale, feka manonko ya doyale. But yakely in a very nice way. So sometimes to them too, that's how you do it. Cut them in a sophisticated manner, in a civilized manner. You understand? So, question?
Okay, I have a question. Maybe, for example, if you have to interview a person and you go to social media to search information about the person, but you can't get enough information about the person. So, how do you do about that?
I think I have already answered that. I said like when you go to social media, normally it's very difficult for you to see an artist or an individual who is a public figure for them not to have a social media account. Unless let's say maybe it's one of our these traditional local people coming like imams, you can't expect to find, maybe it's only something that people want to see about them. Let's say Kebu Chairman orders every day, their names is on social media for what they said. So those are the kind of things that you're gonna follow. Yeah, those are the kind of things we're gonna follow. Plus, you at your neighborhood, what you hear about them. Yeah, but let the question be very relevant. Any question? My gentleman down there, you don't have any question for me? Seriously? I don't like people who said I don't have question. Then I must have a question for you. Okay. Dibenkoto. By then that was my initial point, like I said. So I had to engage Mr. Joof. I wanted to do a show there, but I don't know any name. I don't know what I don't know, because there are some tips I believe when choosing a name. So I don't know any of those. Can you help me, Mr. Joof? Yeah. I think I'm gonna retire myself. Mr. Joof is around. We can.
What happened? What happened?
Hello? It is connecting, the signal is poor.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. I had to be on that call, so
Okay.
we are signing agreement with Jalabakwe to host a Cora Award, so that's where I've had Samba and them went, and they had to call me to talk about a few stuff. But anyway, where did we stop before I leave, or what were you guys doing since I left?
This one was at least.
We were having a class with Yusuf.
Yes.
Okay, on what?
About on journalism.
On how to research and how to host a show
And how to dress and how to sit. How to act.
How to what?
Yeah.
how to what?
How to sit when you have a show.
How to do what?
How to approach your guests.
You guys can
How
answer
to
one at a time so that we can understand what you guys are talking about.
Mr.
You can give a chance to each one.
Mr. Joof,
Uh-huh.
is school valid?
Yes.
Yeah, we were having a classes with Yusufa.
Okay.
So
On what?
we discussed a lot of things about how to research,
Mm-hmm.
how to write your questions,
Mm-hmm.
how to follow up your questions,
Mm-hmm.
and how to sit when you are having a show,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay. So that will bring me back to what we were talking about. Thank you, Yusufa, for sharing what you have learned over the years. Research is a very important component of this job. It doesn't matter how well dressed you are, it doesn't matter how well groomed you are, it doesn't matter what you do. If what you are saying doesn't make sense, you will just be making a fool of yourself as a journalist. If you are interviewing somebody and you don't know what you are talking about, you end up humiliating yourself. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. I will encourage all of you to go back and listen to my interview with Panderimbai. I will encourage all of you, if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. Okay. Panderi is somebody that every Gambian is scared to be on his platform. But when he interviewed me, he got the embarrassment of his life. And as a result, he deleted that interview. Thank God that I recorded it and I have it aired. The same thing when it comes to Haruna Drame. He's been in the media for over 25 years. At the end of the day, when he interviewed Melvin Roberts, he also humiliated himself because he wasn't ready or prepared. So you need to do enough research about the subject you were talking about. Sheikh Fal had told you guys last week when he interviewed the 3 years Jotna people, how he embarrassed himself because he didn't do enough research, and I told him. So if you end up having a guest that is very challenging and tough, one like Momodu Sabali, they will embarrass you. One like Sidinjai, they will embarrass you. One like Imam Babali, they will embarrass you. MC Jam Jr., they will embarrass you. Because these are people that, in a nutshell, are very dangam. They are very dangam. So if you are talking to people, you need to be able to do enough research. If you are not doing interviews and you are doing coverage, you need to be still able to do your research to know basic information about the event, institution, or whatever you are talking about, person you are talking about. And I was giving reference of this award that we are doing with Jadaba Kuyata and his son. It's very important that you have basic knowledge and you do review and analysis, more so than all about interview. Like I expect Sisao to do like good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching us from. We are live here at Birkama, at the home of talent, at the home of culture. We are with the King of Kora, Jaliba Kuyate. What is happening today, Gambian Talents Television is signing an MOU with Prince Equate Entertainment to organize an annual Cora Award in the building, and you start to describe what is happening. You just tell us exactly what you are seeing. Kana fen lafaje, kana fen talaje. Bulsi yoka, bulsi wanyi. So if you as a journalist, you are somewhere and you say, oh, you went for a coverage and you come back and tell us, I was trying to interview people and they were not talking. Or we ask you to go for a workshop with you and come back and tell us, well, people are not willing to talk. You always observe what you see and you analyze it and you evaluate it and you review it. You tell people, this is what is happening. This is what I am seeing. That's exactly what it is. So you need to know and look at what is happening and you describe it. Period. You look at what is happening and you describe what is happening. You tell us what is happening. You tell us the story. The little things that people don't pay attention to is what you pay attention to. And you describe that. You share that with the public. If Amidiba and Maimuna Jaju go to the TRRC, what you see on TV, that is not all we want to see. When you do your TRRC review or commentary, we expect you to be able to talk about it, to say, okay, well, this and this happened when this person was coming in, they were crying, or you see how this person is crying, you see the lead counsel, the mistake they made. You describe, you look and observe everything that is happening. You go to the National Assembly, the same thing. Look at the norms, look at their dress code, look at their comportment, look at them smoking or drinking or doing, the way they are interacting with each other, the way they are yelling, the way they are dressed, their kabudu when they have breaks. How much do they know what they are talking about? You just show us what is happening. You go to a press conference by APRC, DOI, or UDP, or any other party. Observe what is happening and tell us the story. Don't add and don't reduce. That is key. Information you give to the public must be factual. Do not add to it and do not reduce to it. That should be written down by all of you in bold. Information you give to the public should be factual. Don't add to it and don't reduce from it. Describe the situation. Describe the environment. Let us know what is happening. Tell us the mood. Tell us the tone. Tell us the atmosphere and the environment. We need to know where you are, what is happening there, how it's happening, who is making it happen, and why is it happening. It always defaults back to your 5 W's and H. Tell us where you are. Why are you there? When did you get there? Why are you, what are you doing there? And all the W's. So it's very important you understand these basic things. It's totally fine with you. Yes. It's very important that you get this. So at the end of the day, that's what we are talking about. Journalism does not require to what? Who said that? Very right. My full lady on fire too. So you need to understand that it does not equal to Kumabafo or Wahburei. You need to know what you are saying or you don't. You don't have anything to say, factual to say, be quiet. So just because you see people talking should not make you talk. And that is why we encourage people to specialize. And to specialize, we encourage you to specialize on what you love and what you want to specialize on. That way, you will be doing what you already like. You will be watching entertainment, if with or without you being a journalist. So if you were going to watch Diesel or ST or Attack or follow them or read about them, then if you become a journalist, it will be easier if you get into entertainment. If you were into religion and you are a Muslim, you go to Gamos, or you go to Juma, you go to this, you go to that, you're listening to Ware and all of these imams and following them without being a journalist, with or without being a journalist. Now, if you are a journalist and you start to do those things, it's going to make it easier for you. So it's very important that you do your research and you get your facts right. That was going to be the first part of this class I was going to tell you. The second part, now before I go to the second part, any question, comments, or concerns about research and its importance? Know your facts. Today's class was supposed to be about the media laws, right? That's what I came with, and I was going to allow Yankuba. I was just going to do introduction about it and allow Yankuba to proceed. Unfortunately, he is still in the provinces and could not make it here with us yet. So hopefully next week he will be back. Okay. But as you can see, he went all the way to Kaur. When I was talking to him yesterday, to cover some court cases there. He went all the way to Kaur to go cover some court cases. Yankuba is a legal reporter. He is a law student at the University of the Gambia. So even though he's a law student, he's practicing as a journalist. So what he loves is what he is doing. So you see the connection there? Do what you love and love what you do. You must be passionate about being a journalist. So research is very important. You knowing what you're doing, why you are doing it, why, how it is being done, when it is being done. The 5 W's and the H, they should always come out in whatever it is that you do, whether you are interviewing somebody, whether you are doing analysis or review of something. Those basics should come out always. And this is a general life principle that will benefit you forever. Any question, comment, or concern? Any questions, comments, or concern?
No.
Okay. If nobody has any question, comment, or concern on the issue of doing research, we will elaborate on it more on some other occasion, but I don't want this to pass because it affects us and it has to do with what we talked about partly on the Wednesday meeting 2 days ago when we had the meeting. And it has to do with the interaction with people and coverages you go to and places you go and things that happen there. I taught you guys about that. You remember when we were talking about, I gave example of the police PRO and the coverage we did there when the police was sleeping, and a few other instances I gave with JZB Mendy at the show at the Independence Stadium. Any of you were at that meeting?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, what did we talk about? Yeah.
We talk about that journalists will not be
We talked about what?
journalists will not lie.
Okay, journalists should not lie.
Salimatu Diallo.
Okay, Salimatu, thank you.
And we should not hand over gadgets to police or any other people.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Both the journalists and the videographers should do research.
Excuse.
Any program they have to go.
We say what?
Both the journalists and the videographers should do proper research before they go out.
Yes.
Mr. Joof,
Uh-huh.
this is our time speaking. You also
What?
told us to stick to our scripts.
Speak to who?
Stick to your script.
Stick to your script. Yes, very good one.
Pandu,
So let me. Mm-hmm. Yes, Joshua.
you also tell us creativity is not something that anyone can teach you.
What? Creativity, right?
Yeah, creativity.
Yes, very good. Very good point. I'm proud of you guys.
Mr. Joof,
Mm-hmm.
Dahawa is speaking.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Dahava.
Yes, as a journalist, if you have any issue with somebody else, before you do something between you and those people, you have to refer them to your boss or to your.
You should do what?
I said, as a journalist, if, for example, if you have concern with somebody else or issue with somebody before taking any action, you have to refer them to your management board or to your boss.
Yes.
Mr. Joof,
Mm-hmm.
school Wali.
Mm-hmm.
As a journalist, before going anywhere, you have to have communication, good communication, where you are going, the locations, and which time you will be there.
Yes. So these are all very important points. And I'm glad that you all remember them. But I will focus on the two things: sticking to your script, and of course, what Musa Dahaba said, communicating with your office when something happens. We just had this class on Wednesday.
Mr. Joof is Bintu Singan.
Yes, Binta.
We also talk about discipline is very important.
Exactly. And you see, mm-hmm.
This is Aminata Lama speaking.
Yes, Aminata.
Yes, we also talk about both the journalist and the videography should work together.
Yes, very important, because you are there to complement each other. And I'm glad that all of you are talking. In fact, what you just said, Aminata, I will add it to the list. And I'm saying this because we're having the direct experience. The past couple of days, I have been talking to Aisha Tukoli and Adam Cisse. Yes, until last night. And all of these things we are talking about, they are directly living and it's affecting them. For example, I addressed them on their second day of the tour. What did I address them on? They had a misunderstanding and were yelling at each other. As a result, ñu mer. I spoke to them overnight. Aisha told me Adam said Aisha dafa yuufu suma kaw, and she embarrassed me in front of people with the way she talked. Adam told me, Aisha told me Adam ak nim nope, voice am benim softe. She will not talk loud, but she throws bombshells. And we were laughing. They have bad blood. The Tongo syndrome happened. And it all started with a small misunderstanding. But it's a learning moment for all of them. I'm proud of them. I'm saying it because I've already addressed it with them from the first day. As of yesterday, they were having a wonderful relationship. They've put that aside because I told them I'll pull them out of the tour. You cannot be working together as journalist and videographer, and you said Nedungen Neka on the same page, Altetarala on the same page. Keeping malice has no place in this job. If you are a team, you must work together to complement each other's efforts, because what you do is going to be seen in your work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Keeping malice has no place here. You must have positive energy with each other. So you can see what Aminata just said. Journalist and videographer, or two journalists that are working together, co-hosting a show or out and about, must have a good relationship and communicate well. So when you guys go out in the public, we don't expect you to do what Adam and Aisha Tokoli did. And it was a small misunderstanding. Now, it brings me back to all the things we are saying. The actions of some of you are affecting us directly, because 16 of our memory cards have been broken by interns, because 8 or 9 of our external hard drives are broken. We don't have until the ones I send get there, which are going to take a couple of months. We are paying the direct price. Adam and Isaac did not have enough memory card. As Adam is doing the show, is filming the president's speech auditor, at some point, her memory card get full and she had to pack all her things. They had a disagreement about pulling the mic from the podium where the president was talking. Adam wants to get it. Isaac said, leave it there so that the public will know that GTTV is here, even though your memory card is full. This is what they had a disagreement about, and they have to yell at each other in front of the public, which was very unprofessional. So when you go out for public, do not, if one person does wrong, doesn't mean you should respond to them. Womanya natinara ya noma. So nit defé dara lu wrong. Wait till you get to the office, or when you leave, or call them to the side and talk to them. But it is not okay to be addressing them in front of the public or other people or your other colleagues. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, I'm saying this because I know a good number of you are here, and you may be working, and not me, you will be working together with your colleagues. Either you are co-hosting shows, or you are working with your videographers, your managers, directors, whatever. None of you is supposed to yell at anybody. None of you is supposed to scream at anybody. None of you is supposed to be keeping malice with each other. Now, I talked about sticking to the script. One of you mentioned it. Who did?
Our job.
Yes, our champ. It's a very powerful one. We made an agreement, and what they were supposed to do, the presidency did not give us food or accommodation for them. The only thing they gave us is transportation. I told them, when you go to any of these places that you will be going, you need to let us know, because we have to arrange for you the places you go. Every area they go where they'll be spending the night, we made the arrangements, whether they were in Kerawan, in Farafenye. Right now, as we speak, they are in Janjambure. That's where they spend the night. They go to have the tour in nearby villages and towns. Now, when they were coming to Farafenye, we arrange. I am originally from Farafenye. Our house is there. I arrange for them to be able to eat. So they cooked dinner for them. They had very comfortable rooms for them to sleep in, etc. But Adam told me they wanted to go and join their journalist colleagues, because it was going to be faster for her to be able to copy her memory cards and stuff. I said, is this a decision you already made? She said, I can confirm it to you in 1 hour time. She never did confirm it. People from my house already cooked dinner and everything. It was all 10:30, 11 o'clock, and they are sitting down waiting for these people. Adam and them changed their mind. It was a hectic moment for them. Now, because they didn't stick to the script, the place they went wasn't as comfortable. One. Number two, because they told me that they already have that lockdown, them and their colleagues, they ended up getting to Makati the next day without having anything being arranged for them, because in my mind, well, they already figured out where they are going, and they are not calling to get in touch until they get to the governor's house at 11 o'clock. I said to Koli called me and said, Mr. Joof, have you already arranged where we are staying? I said, no, I haven't arranged anything. Because from what happened yesterday, you guys had figured it out. It looks like you are with your colleagues, or the government is now taking care of you, or you guys are getting it together yourselves. And they were freaking out. They were almost going to sleep in the car, but I gave them the telephone number and the name of our host, where we normally stay in Kanjapure. They went there, and luckily they accepted them. But guess what? At the end of the day, instead of two of them just going, now I thought they were going to learn from sticking to the script as we agreed before. But they didn't learn the first time. What did they do? Instead of just two of them going, we definitely ran. 7 of them went there. They took along their colleagues. And when we tell you, when I go to Koli and Adam comes, you ask them, they tell you how caring TV is. Whereas other journalists, their media houses sent them there, didn't care. And these are all young ladies, just like most of you. They didn't care. They didn't provide them with anything. Literally, for the most part, they have to try to lodge those people and take them places. And I had to educate them that it is not their responsibilities to take care of those people. They have media chiefs, they are from media houses, and their people should be able to take care of them. I don't want us to be super nice to prevent us from having future opportunities, because it's not fair to go to a house, somebody's house, and bring them 7 guests. Now you imagine if you were to be in your house, you have 2 mani potol, nyari poti malo, ngatoga ko yasa jabot. Some of you are married here and you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. You're only there pass. All of a sudden, an unexpected guest come and brought you 7 people. How would you feel?
You would feel bad.
You will be discouraged.
If it is the Gambian syndrome, you may even prevent your kids from eating that food and you give it to your guests, right?
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how much inconvenience it causes you, it hurts you, right? Yes, 7 people is not a small number of people to cater for, right?
Yes.
Especially for 3 days. So was that right?
No.
Did they stick to the script?
No.
Yes. So I am telling you what we are teaching you, you are going to experience in the field. I'm sharing their story for you people to learn from. Sticking to your script is very important, not only about when you go about the video or the journalism work, but even some of these things. Sticking to your script means doing what we agreed to do. So they are paying the price for some of those things. Now, the CDB Kunda, they went to could have cooked them food, for example, and they would enjoy themselves and have good meals. But now, my negotiations with them is, well, we cannot ask those people for food. Or otherwise, you guys need to go and buy your own food. Knowing that these people are not prepared to host you and you'll be here for 3-4 days, you cannot come and eat their money bottle since Afamalabi in 3 to 4 days. Get parenyibi, guy So tell the old woman that you just need a place to put your head down. Fungente da gudi. Somanda aleta alhajola. That's what you want. And this was almost midnight. They had to go look for food for themselves. So their lunch and dinner, they'll have to provide on their own. Because they did not stick to the script, they went and brought in other people who were not part of our plans, who are not our responsibilities. So we need to be aware of this. You should not listen to other people dictate what you do. You are from an institution. Your institution has its house style and editorial policies, and these are things that you people should understand. Your institution have its own house style and editorial policy, and that's what it is called. This is the technical term. Write it down. Every media house has its own house style and editorial policy. Every media house has its own house style and editorial policy. And you must stick to the script and understand your media house's policies, and you apply them or work around them, and not listening to somebody from another media house whose editorial policy might be different from us. If you go to Barrow Media House or Barrow whatever, or UDP online, but all these political parties, they are there to promote the agenda of their parties, right? So, should any of our reporters listening to anybody from those media houses or follow what those people are doing or the way they are reporting? I ask a question whether any of our reporters should follow any of these online platforms like Barrow Media House or UDP Online Bantaba or some of those other political parties that have media houses or some other media, even local media houses that are supposedly biased with the way they do things.
No.
Yes, you never know what interest they will follow. Your interest should be the public interest. I want everybody to write that down. Your interest as a journalist is the public interest and not the interest of any individual or institution. If you are on a tour and something negative is happening, something that is not right, you have an obligation to publish it. You do. You have an obligation to tell the public and inform the public. It doesn't matter, even if it involves rather your father, your uncle, your mother, or whoever. You have a responsibility to inform the public about it. Whether you are on a tour, whether you go for coverage, or whatever it is, the public interest is your interest. The public interest is your interest. Typical example, some of the media houses are sponsored by these local companies. For example, Gambian Talent has an agreement with Supersonics Money Transfer. Supersonics know very well. Tomorrow, if they were to deceive people, they tell people, we send money for you for free. And they don't actually do that. Or you go to Supersonics, your brother in Germany sends you money, or somebody watches Yusufa Ndur's Rakimi Raki and decides to hook him up with $50 or $100, or somebody in UK watches Kurubali's Isito and decides to send her money, or a family member or friend of Yusuf Ajata, proud of him, and decides to send him money for whatever errands or whatever needs to be taken care of, or any of you, for example, and you decide to send it through Supersonics. They send you $300. Supersonic sits on that money. Gambian talents will not hesitate to publish if we have all the evidence, we do research and investigate, and we found out that Supersonics actually collected money from this person and they did not deliver to execution. We will publish a story or write about it. This is why we are not having any funding or sponsorship. Now you go, that is our policy. Our rule is, it doesn't matter who it is. If you do right, we publish right. If you do wrong, we publish that you did wrong. It's just the bottom line and our policy. But guess what? You have a lot of media houses who are sponsored by some organization, some company in the country, like a GSM company or a real estate company, and that GSM company is ripping people off. They are cutting people's hair, taking money from people or stealing their megabytes. But at the end of the day, the other network may not write it. So if you go out in the field, for example, and somebody from another media house says, let's say one of the GSM companies did something, and somebody from another media house that is sponsored by that GSM company tries to discourage you, to tell you, oh no, you should not write this story, or you should not do this. This company is very good, and try to convince you about those people. When you have the public telling you that we are here, Nawek is here for 2 weeks, we don't have light, and you have a company or another media house who are sponsored by Nawek, and their reporter tells you, oh no, Nawek is trying, they just have some hiccups here and there, but they are working on it, so this story is not worth writing. Based on what I trained you or what I just shared with you, what will you do? Will you continue to write the story or publish the story or do a report on it on 20 TV or whatever? Or you're just going to leave it alone because the other person told you not to? Hello?
Mr. Joof.
I ask a question and I always need an answer.
Okay, Sadio speaking.
Yes, Sadio.
That person should not discourage you from writing your story. You still have to write your story because you are writing it for the public, not for him or her, because they are sponsoring him or her. You should write your story the way you should and publish it. Nobody should discourage you from what you are doing.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So I'm saying this because this is one of the issues that came from Isaac Colley and Adam's trip again. Some of them, or one of them, was actually listening to what people from the other media houses were telling them. And this was actually bringing in a misunderstanding between the two of them. Because one of them knows how to do it the TV way, and the other one is trying to listen to or follow the other people and what they're doing. So when you go places, you need to stick to your script and stick together as well. Do not allow the next person from another media house or even somebody to dictate you. Still sticking to the script, few things happen. Adam is busy and she is filming and very busy doing her thing. The president was somewhere in Badibu and doing her thing. And Adam is there holding the camera and filming. And before you know it, because the tension was high, one of the security officers just dragged her and they pushed her. Xam ngeen ko rek ak ndawaayam ak doyari ñaan to xam ngeen Adam ci tudu. Mu dem dal fele one of the security officers, and she was scared and paranoid and stopped the work. People saw her. According to her, one of the soldiers, a colleague to the person who did it, saw it and told her, came to apologize and tried to speak to her. And they had different scenarios there that happened. Now, they told her to talk to the boss, and their boss was informed, the boss of the security guys. They were paranoid. But guess what? I am very proud of Adam because the first thing she did there, she applied sticking to the script, which one of you had already said, which is Tahaba, that if you are out in the field and something happens, the first thing you do is call the office and tell your supervisor, your manager, that this is what happened, and we will guide you through the process and the steps you need to take. If you hide it, you may put yourself in trouble and put us in trouble. You may put yourself in danger and put us in danger. Because if you are in danger, we are in danger. I want you to know that you have an office that is very caring. You have a boss that is very passionate to see your success. And we know how our people can be manipulative. Now, where does Adam's story end? Because Adam told me, I brainstormed with her, I told her what to do, and she followed the direction this time around on this particular issue. The security people were worried. Their boss went around looking for Adam. When he found her, he came and spoke to her and apologized and told Adam, now the boss is still worried because he can lose his job. They can lose, the security officer can lose his job. So they don't want it to go out in the media. Where did they end? They asked Adam, what happened what did you do when this happened? Who did you tell? He said, I told my boss. And the guy came to tell Adam, has the audacity to tell her, you should not have told your boss. When this thing happened next time, go ahead and tell the office of the president, their media team. They are trying to manipulate her. This is exactly what happened last year on the tour when they abused our journalist, Jambang. Eventually, they try to go and talk to them quick, and Ibrahim Sankari, the government spokesperson, has the audacity to speak in one of the rallies and apologize, but then saying that they had already spoken to the journalists, and the journalists said they are fine, this and that, and they put words in the mouth of the journalists. They will try to get you probably to even sign a document to say that you say this and that. So whenever you find yourself in a difficult moment or situation with people out in the field, call the office and explain yourself, and we will guide you through the process of what you need to do. Where did the guy end with Adam? He told Adam that you should not have done this, you should not have said it to your boss. Next time, tell us, I hope this is not going to be in the media, that if I find it in the media, I will come for you. I told Adam, when you see him again, tell him that my boss wants to talk to you. Give him my number to call me, or you call me and let me talk to him. And I will ask him why he is threatening my reporter or cameraman, woman. He is threatening Adam to say that if he sees it in the media, he will come for her. What will he do if he comes? I will ask him my 5 Ws and H. What will he do to her? Why will he do it to her? What did she do? I will ask him my 5 Ws and H. How will he do it? It's very important for you to stick to your script and listen to your institution. And above all, just like I shared with you on Wednesday, for those of you that were here, when something like this happens, you go out in the public and something happens, even if it involves you, do not give any information. I want you to write this down. Write it boldly. Write it in capital letters if you want. Highlight it to know that you should not give any information to anybody, even if it involves you. Prior to you talking to the office, if there is a need, and this is not to dictate you, But you have to understand that every institution has its policies, and this is our policy. And there is supposed to be bureaucracy. I want you to write down again that you are not the spokesperson for Gambian Talents TV. Even if it involves you, there is bureaucracy. Every institution has a PRO or a spokesperson, somebody who should speak on behalf of that institution at any given time. It could be the overall boss or leader as necessary, or it could be somebody that is dedicated or designated to serve as the mouthpiece of that institution. That is why whenever we need any information about the police, it doesn't matter how big it is and who did the operation or this or that. Who do we go to? Who do we go to? Hello? Yes, the police PRO. And these are things that you need to know. As journalists, you need to know these little things. Now, if something happened on the streets that you are a witness to and a police officer is there, you go and try to interview that police officer. In a million years, they will not talk to you because of what I am telling you. There's bureaucracy. They are not authorized to give any information, not even a single information. Even if a police officer arrests somebody, you want to ask them, officer, what did he do? We see you have caught somebody. What did the person do? He will never tell you. What that police officer is going to do is exactly what I am telling you. He or she will go and brief his boss, and his boss will brief the police PRO, and the police PRO will be the one to talk about it. Just a couple of days ago, we went and did a coverage about stuff that were collected from Brusubi, stolen items. The police PRO is not the one that went to Brusubi. It is anti-crime that went to Brusubi to do that, to do the arrest. And the police station, these people were taken to police station. The police stations put them in the jail, and they were in the jail. They were taken out of the jail to be paraded so that the people can see who they are. But the people who do that are not the ones that will say it. It is the police PRO who will address this. If you go to the military, they have their spokesperson. You go to the political parties, they have their spokesperson. You go to the football, leagues, they have their spokesperson. Even the Jumas, the masjids and the churches have their spokesperson. Sometimes it could be the overall leader. There are certain issues that the overall leader talks about. There are certain issues that the spokesperson of the organization or institution talk about. So it doesn't matter how much you know. Keep it to yourself. Officially, there's someone designated to do the talking on behalf of the institution. Now, if you do the talking on your own, journalists come and ask you, let's say with what happened to Adam Sise, the next minute she just jumps and says all kinds of things. Journalists write it down. The next minute, the office of the president comes to talk to her. She also talks and adds some jumbo and forum to it. The next minute, independent observers come and talk to her, and she adds Netetu and Dahar to it. Is she not giving conflicting information to different people?
Yes.
If investigation was to be carried out and for her to be contacted, what is going to happen? Can she not end up putting herself in trouble?
Yes.
These are the type of things we are avoiding for you. And when people intimidate you, especially you young people, you think, Jaegao, Molina Guinness, you don't ever worry about it. You think by hiding and concealing information is what is going to get you places. So under no circumstance should you be the mouthpiece of Gambian talent. For those of you that were not here, I shared some information. I said, if people come to investigate you, you should not give them information. If people come to intimidate you, you should not give them information unless and until you get clearance from the institution. There are times that people come to me and say, or to Farsamba and say, so media house so and so contacted me. They want to know A, B, and C about me. So about my work. If it is personal, for example, Yusuf Ajata is a Mr. Model, whatever he does with fashion. If he has to do anything with media interviews when it comes to that, we have no problem with that. That's his personal life. But anything that has to do with his show or the media work he's doing at Gambian Talents, he cannot just get up and go and be doing interviews and be talking about his shows and the things he does without consulting with Gambian Talents. And this applies to all of you. If at any point you want to talk about Gambian Talents or what you do at Gambian Talents, you need to be able to liaise with the institution. Over the years, several people have had this. In fact, not long ago, Ida Kebe had an interview about her nomination with the GPU award. We had to discuss and even Yoka Kuhalatsa and stuff. It's something we're proud of. Ibu Nketa had media interviews not long ago. For those of you who are watching who were watching in the group, you must have seen me share a link, an interview that Ibu Nketa and myself had. Right? Yes. So it's not like we are telling you you cannot have interviews or you cannot talk to the media or do certain things, but it's bureaucracy and you need that guidance as well. So the truth shall set you free. Now, if something happened, you do it and you come and say, this is what happened. Tell us the truth. If you go to a place and you've been hit by somebody, they just give you a little slap or they push you a little bit and you fall on the ground and say, oh, they stepped on me, they kicked me, they slapped me, they pushed me, when they didn't do any of those things to you. You are not deceiving us, you are deceiving yourself. We don't expect you to make up things just because you want buzz. And I've had this happen where something coincidentally, when Kambang was being abused the president's store, and we were talking about it, and Jambang was making a lot of public noise and publicity. Somebody was covering, was it ST's event or some other event at the Independence Stadium? The person was also claiming, one of our reporters was claiming being abused at the stadium, and think we are going to write stories and publicize it and make it go viral, whatever. I'm like, that's not how it works. That's too cheap to look for buzz. To hyperbolize. The person went to the extent, a young lady for that matter now. Guess what she even said? That somebody pushed her. She fell down and her menstruation, her virginity actually was taken away. Is that serious? I'm not making it up. A young lady that was here, the person is not even here now. They said their virginity were gone because of that. I'm just telling you what some of your colleagues did at Gambian Talent. We have all kinds of extreme experiences with interns, both good and bad. If you guys saw what we did for Isa Tujalo last week, almost shutting down the whole institution because of her, that is an example of a successful intern at Gambian Talents. What we did for Binta Sise, an example of a successful intern, our experience with her. Aida Kebe right now, an example of a successful intern, and others. Now, some of them that left, example of bad intern. Some of those elements, you know, they were your colleagues here. So by lying, you are not doing the right thing. By exaggerating, you are not doing the right thing. So do not exaggerate anything to anyone when it comes to your work. Say exactly what happened. Do not add and do not reduce from it. Now, if any of you does it, sajid ni bopa yange def lula ne mendiati kawlek. Barintel me karande wala ni jangal nga lulu. Lan la len jangal?
Honesty. Before honesty and discipline.
Yes. Yes, exactly. You need to be honest to yourself. If nobody kicked you, don't say they kicked you. We've had all kinds of experiences. We had an intern during the presidential or parliamentary election in 2016, mayoral election actually 2017, when APRC Rampo Jata was being nominated from Bakau. One of our interns was beaten up by APRC. Now he had a good point. We took care of him. We gave him money to go to the hospital and get checked. We discussed with GPU and engaged GPU. And we wanted to even go to the extent of pressing charges on his behalf. But he told us to drop it. One thing the intern did was yell and scream and did things. Sisasi, they called him to the IEC office. This was at IEC right there by Alliance Franco. They called him inside the office. They called APRC, all the big people, Fabaka, Tombongyata, Rambo, and all of them. And Sidinjai was there then. They tried to talk to him. And the first thing he told them was, and this was before he notified the office. They called him into the office to talk to him, and he's the one who explained this. And I said, what did you tell them? He said, I told them, they apologized to me. I told them, no, I don't accept your apology. Even if it was my father who asked me to apologize, who apologized to me, I will not accept the apology. If he was to liaise with the office, that would not be his response. That was a rude response. He would not have even probably gone in there at the time. But if he already went in, he will not tell them that. Hanim fama ale nim dani nufang ntabula lagi. Nte hakubo indila. This is exactly what the intern told me. He told them. Was that right?
No.
Yes. So I tell you people, we have tons of experiences here about issues that happen with different people. Whether it's with musicians, whether it's with politicians, whether it's with the business community, different people. But you need to learn some of these basic principles. We are not teaching you these things for no reason. Might be some of the other people didn't have the opportunity for us to teach them this, and they learned on the job. You are here. Now, I just taught this class about sticking to the script on Wednesday, and we were talking about it. Then that same night is when Adam actually had this experience, and I told her, I was just saying this to the office today. Now, finally, your gadget. One of you mentioned it as well. When people come to you and say, give me your phone, give me your camera, why are you taking the president? Or why are you see ghetto youths smoking marijuana, or a crime scene is happening and you are trying to capture the crime, or somebody is stealing and you take it and they say you give them your camera, or police officer is correcting corruption, they are collecting bribes from people and you are filming that, or whatever it is that you are filming, and the person comes and asks you to give them your phone or your camera. For those of you who were in the class, what should you do?
Mr. Joof,
Mm-hmm.
hello, it's approaching Juma, so maybe we try to summarize it.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
But I've said this was the last thing that I am talking about.
Okay.
What should you do?
We shouldn't hand over our jackets to anybody else.
Yes. So this is even in your personal life. I said there is no law in the country that requires you to hand over any of your personal belongings to any law enforcement, including your telephone. Talk less of unlocking it. They don't have any rights to ask you to unlock your phone or give it to them.
Mr. Joof?
Yes?
Yeah, the same thing applies to Adam also. We once go to a bus stop around Senegambia, whilst Adam also was taking our cutaways, and police was on traffic.
and he said that Adamoso was taking him, and he want to seize the camera from Adamoso, and they are Sanyang and Sol went there and solved the issue and said he should delete the picture of him where Adamoso was taken a quarter week.
I can barely hear you. Yes, you say Saul and Sanyang went there and did what?
Sol went there and Sanyang because the police want to seize the camera from Adamoso. Yes.
Okay, so what did Saul and Sanyang do?
They negotiate, and when they are at that moment, for us, we are inside the car waiting for Adamaso, and we see Adamaso was talking with a policeman, and they were talking for a quite long, and they are signing and so drop and went there, and the police want to seize the camera, and from there, Sanyan said, no, you don't have any right to seize our camera, and he was saying.
Yes.
He was saying the boy was taking him. And Sanyan said, if you don't want to be seen in a camera, don't stand in traffic.
Yes. So exactly that is the case. So under no circumstance, I don't expect any of you to come and say we did discovery, the police took our camera, or they took our this, or took our that. They have no right to take it, and you should not give it to them. So the question you should ask them is my last thing I'm going to tell you. Write it down. If anybody at any point, including the police or any security officer or authority, tells you, give me your phone, or unlock your phone, or give me your camera, or whatever, the question you should ask them is, what law do you rely on? I'm just giving you now what you need to ask them. The question is, why should I give you my camera? Or why should I unlock my phone? Ask them the why question. Why should I give you my camera? Or why should I give you my phone? Or what law says that I should give you my phone?
Yeah, Mr. Joof,
Mm-hmm.
I also have a similar experience. I was coming from Basse.
Who is this?
Salimatu Diallo.
Okay.
I went to Basse, so I came across, when I reached at Mankamakunda, I see that somebody told me that this building was built by Adama Barrow. So I took out my phone and take a picture. So an intervention police officer was sitting there, and he came and stopped the vehicle and told me to hand over the phone to him. I said no. I said, why should I give you my phone? This is my personal gadget. He said, I'm taking picture of him. So this is how people do. They came and take picture of police and post it to Facebook. They will just sit down and show their picture on Facebook without their consent. So I tell him that I'm not taking picture of you, I'm taking picture of the building. So he asked me to give him the phone. I didn't give him the phone. I said, if you liked, we can go to the station, because there is no law that says I should give you my phone. This is my personal gadget.
Is this before you came to Gambian Talent? So
Yes, before I came to Gambian Talent.
Yes, I'm glad you knew that before. I'm glad you knew it, but that's exactly what you need to do. But then there's a different side of the coin. For security reasons, for example, taking the house of the president, for security reasons, they may prevent you from doing it. So it might be legal when there are security risk concern or security concern or risk. You may not be allowed to do some of those things. So there's a fine line to this. We are telling you, but since it's almost getting to be Juma, we will wrap up the discussion here today. Once again, I apologize for the inconvenience that Mr. Jallo didn't come in, and myself, I overslept. This week has been a very hectic week for me. Back to back with so many things. But thank you guys very much. Today, I will not ask for your takeaway message, but all of you can go back to the things you need to do. If those of you need to go to Juma, can go to Juma. those who need to do other projects can get them done. Whether Fatsamba is here or not, whether Ida is here or not, or anybody, Salimatu Bangura is in charge. Remember, you need to be able to listen to your supervisors, and all of you need to be productive. If you are going to be here, please engage in something productive, whether you're going to be watching the tutorials, whether you are going to be doing research, whether you are going to be doing a show, whether you're going to be writing a story, but make sure that you are productive and do not just be idling around or being on your phones and stuff. You need to be productive and listen to your supervisors and follow directions, please.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.